And welcome to Dare to Disagree, your weekly episodic podcast where we, regular Joes across the planet, tell you guys exactly what you're fucking up and how to do it better. I'll be your host, Jonathan Esther out of California.
This is Alone in the Dark in Colorado.
This will be a quick pop off Thanksgiving special. Obviously, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Enjoy and what the hell are you doing?
Kids are moving around my computer, so
Fair enough. Enjoy the joys of American greed. It's what capitalism's all about. So have fun.
make sure you guys are thankful for all you have in life tomorrow, and then the day after that, go out and shop for Black Friday.
That's how you make the system work, man. It works. Anyway, I had a quick topic. My topic was really funny. I actually had a question for you. Yeah, it's only going to be you and me, but I got a specific question that'll actually work really good with you. So my question is this. Is there, as a white guy, any particular superpower, and I'll explain what that is in a second, that any other race or even your race has that makes no sense to you? Like, I'll give you my example. My example is, I thought long and hard about it this week, and I realized white girls crying is a very specific breed of superpower. Like, nobody else can pull off what white girls crying can pull off in humanity in general. It doesn't matter what race man you are. If you come across a white girl crying, you stop. Your heart twangs. You feel like you got to assist that blonde-haired, blue-eyed dame in distress. Like, if you're driving by and a Mexican girl has a car broken down and she's crying, unless she's hot, you really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You drive by a black girl's crying, sorry, I know that child support check didn't make it. That's a terrible way to live. Good luck next month. But a white girl, doesn't really matter how. I mean, unless they're like super methed out, their tears are a special kind of elixir that just pulls pity out of us. Now, I don't know if it's just like in cinema through time, most of the people we've seen in distress are white blonde women. Maybe that's a thing to do with it. Or I don't know. I don't know what it is. But there's nothing to me. I've never seen a response that generally every race and creed of male responds to as uniformly as a white woman crying.
I'll tell you what, man, they're burning that shit out right now.
They should.
They are, I get your point, but they are abusing that to such a ridiculous expense. And the sad thing is they're doing it for what should be a good cause. Okay, like we talked about the whole blurred line shit, and I'm bringing up feminism, okay, for specifically because it is one of the most white-dominated groups you could find outside the KKK. Okay, I mean, there is no. I mean, the amount of other races is probably less than 10%. It's and I'm pulling that out of my ass right now, but I'm pretty confident it's true that you never see him. Okay, some guy posted a video going to a feminist rally, and I want to say he was in Atlanta, and you couldn't see a minority for miles in Atlanta. Okay, so. But as I was saying, they're pulling up for stupid bullshit like bitching about that Blurred Line song. It's a terrible song. Okay, it's not even supposed to be a good song, and they're making it oh yeah, this was about rape. No, it's about this guy thinking he's a fucking badass and women are flocking to him. At no point was there anything about rape in there. You guys are just making this. He says, what did he say? Like, I'm gonna come and get her or something along those lines. That's what my rapist said. Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure there's a rapist somewhere that said good morning then raped a bitch. Are we all supposed to not say good morning anymore? Like, that isn't a good fucking thing. Rapists say a lot of fucking things, okay? Some of you even say nice things trying to get into your pants before you start resisting, okay? That isn't a good reason to fucking terrorize this guy. There's very many good reasons to terrorize Robin Thicke. This stupid fucking reason was none of them, okay? So it's wearing me out, man. And that's something that because I grew up with a little sister, now I have a daughter, I have a wife. Crying doesn't do shit to me. Okay, it irritates me more than I have a friend who she's trying to get into management at her job, and she's totally qualified. She totally should be. Okay, the issue she has is she was like telling me, yeah, and I went to talk to my boss about this issue I was having. I was just so worked up that I started crying. What? You want this guy to consider you for a management position, and over some work shit, you're sitting in his office crying? How? I wouldn't look at you as a management fucking person. I guarantee if some man came to you and was crying about something somebody said at work, he's not gonna fucking take you seriously. So, and again, this is coming from a guy. I've been in trouble from my wife and from other people for having too pent up emotions. So maybe I'm on the other side of this issue. But if you're a grown fucking adult, maybe you need to cry a whole lot less, unless it's some serious shit. If your fucking kid died, okay, cry your fucking eyes out. Okay. If somebody hurts your feelings at work, just you don't need to be crying. Suck it the fuck up. But I'm pretty sure I took this in a totally different way than
You
you would.
sure that you're sure that helped you? I
I
appreciate
just
you,
have
but
a
you
problem
sure
with it,
that
man. Because especially at work, I've had women come to me crying all the time, and it's like, how do you really want me to treat you like an adult right now? Over some work shit. You know what I mean? It's one thing if something serious happened at home. Mom got cancer, fucking Fido needs to be put down. Okay, that's your shit. But so and so's talking shit about me, and it just I can't work like. So yeah, maybe you're triggering my PTSD and dealing with this.
could be. You kicked off on that bitch's crying thing real quick. I mean,
Can't,
it's funny because you stayed on topic, but you were completely off topic.
I just
Like
can't take it, man.
you were like, yeah, about white bitches crying though. You pulled the mic for a second.
It's
A
just
freaking cold conscience.
it's ridiculous to me. And I've talked like that girl. I told her exactly that. Why would somebody take you seriously and as manager if you're sitting in his office crying like a fucking child? Well, I just couldn't help it. Then you got a fucking problem. You need to go find help. Okay?
What should actually happen in that situation is that person should usually walk away, compose themselves, and then come back and handle the business. I really have no problem with people crying, but I get your point. For me,
I,
it's like there's a time and a place. If you're a crier, I know at least one dude in my life that's a crier. He's a sensitive ass dude. But here's the difference, man. You're never gonna catch him crying in public. Like he'll, if he gets his feelings hurt or something happens, okay. He'll hold it in. Later on, he'll go have him a good cry. Makes him feel good. Like, whatever, dude, what you gotta do. But you'll never catch him doing that joint in public.
yeah.
you know, you'll never just see him break down on your shoulder unless you drink with him. That'll happen. That'll oh
Give me the
that
name after the show.
a mistake I'll never make again, man. The cry drinking thing. Holy crap! It gets too much emotion. Too much emotion, man. I don't like emotion in my drinking.
My thing is one of a key factor for me at least in promoting someone to a manager is are they able to control their emotions? Okay.
Yep.
And it's a bigger deal because it happens a lot. And I'm going to, again, be accusatory towards women for this. I've met a lot of guys who are managers who go, I have this fucking employee. He's the most irritating person I've ever met in my life. I fucking hate the guy. Every time I see him, I want to kill myself. But he's great at his job, so I'm going to do what I can to keep him forever.
Mm.
With women, I have never seen that. I've seen it the opposite. I don't like this girl. She's great at my job, but I want her fired. Usually it's women versus women. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just indicative of me of, and if it's the same thing with the guy, if I see a guy who can't control his emotions, no, you don't want this guy in management position. He's gonna get your ass sued.
But it's much more rarefied, yeah.
But yeah, because it doesn't happen. If a guy goes to his manager and bursts into tears, he will never be a manager in his life. At least not from that guy. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. I've never seen it. Have I ever seen it happen? We had an emotional dude that you and I knew. Strawberry in French.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus.
There was a guy with some emotions, and that guy made everybody in the room uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And guess what? When he got promoted, he lied his ass off about it. Did you hear about that?
No, no, I never heard this
I'll
story.
tell you the story after, but
Gotcha.
it's like I remember.
I just still one of my favorite quotes. He looked at me so hard that when he walked away, down and just my zipper was open, and it wasn't open before he stared at me. Still the funniest quote I can remember about that guy.
And it was true, man. I've never looked at a woman the way that guy looked at every dude he spoke to.
That is true.
Just the love and the compassion and the care in his eyes.
He did. He did. I never noticed people holding gazes. Like I never even noticed eyes until I looked at him, and then I was like, "Is it just me, or is he really fucking staring like
Yeah.
deep into my eyes?" Anyway, that's not the point. The point I was making is, do you have like a racial quirk? Because I was gonna say an example is my example was gonna be aside from the crying thing, it was gonna be like the inability of white people to dance. Kim point you,
Yeah.
but alone um not Alone in the Dark.
Master.
Puppet Master shattered that illusion last year when you guys came to visit. Holy mother of God.
Yeah, I know.
That
And
motherfucker was wiggling around like Shakira.
I don't think he realizes how bad he fucked me because my go-to excuse. I'm sorry, I'm white. I can't dance. No way. But now everybody has this. Well, freaking Puppet Master did it. What's wrong with you?
He didn't just do it, he did it so well. I think that's really what caught everybody off guard. It was just like, look at him, man. He looks like he's a professional on Dancing with the Stars. The fucking hips. But anyway, is there a thing you see with cultures that just blows your mind, culturally speaking?
Well, I mean, of course, with Mexicans and Africans, the hot food thing just blows my fucking mind every time, dude. I mean, I can't. I mean, obviously with my issues, but I remember going to one of your wife's many fucking family reunions. Okay, and there was little kids, 5, 6, 7 years old, like just eating jalapenos on the ground like this was a thing to do. Where somebody would have had to bet me significant amounts of money before I'd even touch that shit.
Dude, that's fair enough. I don't know what the culture thing with hot foods is. I really don't know. I can't even begin to have an inception of like where that comes from. Like, because most of these cultures come from hot countries to begin with. If it was like they came from cold countries, I'd be like, well, you eat spicy food because the country. No, not even.
Well, I think I've heard, and I don't know if this is bullshit. I've heard people say that spicy food was invented to cover like bad meat and stuff like that. So poorer nations who have, I got to get this food down one way or another, using some spicy food to make it palatable.
That must have been a long time ago because recently there was a whole thing. What did I read? I read a whole thing about like the hottest pepper on earth can only be eaten by a very specific bird. And when the bird eats the seeds, it drops the seeds around. And it's the plant's way to defend itself from natural predators because only that bird can eat it and only that bird can spread its seed. So it must have been around for a minute.
Well, I mean, I think that's the reason practically why any food is spicy, like why any peppers are spicy.
Yep.
Because a mammal's digestive system will destroy the seeds. A bird won't, and a bird will fly around, shoot out the seeds, and bam, the shit will grow. So in order to stop mammals from eating it, it became spicy, so only birds would eat it because birds don't have the receptors to actually register that it's fucking spicy.
But that's also crazy. Just think about that plants, through design or not, engineered a method to prevent mammals from, like, plants, or again, whoever designed it, if someone did, Basically went this. I'm not even touching that. That's all you if you want it.
Sitting bastard. Okay.
But I was like, the plants basically are engineered to like try to stop us from eating them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna argue against like cognizant planting and you're an evolution guy who's an atheist, that's a big hit against your whole theory. Plants seem pretty cognitive in that regard.
Well, I mean, you could look at it that way, or you could look at it. One of them mutated a freaking spicy seed or spicy material, and
And
mammals
lasted
stopped
longer.
eating it. So now all of a sudden it was spreading its seeds everywhere while the original plant died off.
Point and point.
So and a lot of that's I think that's a not to get off the subject, but a lot of people don't realize that this shit was all accidents. According to a lot of people think evolution is shit just wants to grow and get smarter and more complex and stuff like that. No, I mean some things go off being single-celled animals and run amazingly.
Hmm.
There's no destination in mind when this shit's going. So it's kind of like people like. Did you see that video? It's one of those kids from one of those old '90s shows, and he has this idiot who's fucking convinced him that he knows the way of the world. But his proof that evolution was bullshit was by taking a banana.
Oh, you were talking about Shriek. I want to say Shriek. He was from one of the old. Yeah, you're right. He's from one of the old '80s, '70s TV shows.
Yeah, so he was showing, look, if you take a banana and it's got these ridges in it, which is perfect for you to hold, this proves that God built it for people. You know, this thing wants to be eaten by mammals. This is how it gets fucking moved around. The ones that were right for us to hold and most edibles, the ones that we kept. And mind
It's
you, this shit has been genetically engineered for hundreds of years. I mean, original fucking bananas don't look anything like this shit. We built this for us. That's why it's pretty fucking adept for us.
hilariously, you just happen to hold Chiquita Banana, which is suspected of being as close to a terrorist organization as you can get while
Oh,
still being legal in the food world. It's like them and Monsanto, man. You hear some of the stories about the banana wars down the freaking wherever they grow those things.
yeah.
People get killed over that stuff.
Yeah, they're like running, women are getting raped inside the fucking manufacturing places.
Yeah.
Like there was one, I'm pretty sure it's Chiquita, where like a bunch of women were getting raped and they went to like go to the police, like, a bunch of them women got together, like, we're not taking this. The fucking company ended up like either kidnapping them or just trapping them inside the building and not allowing them to leave so they couldn't go report the rapes to the fucking police.
Damn.
It was crazy, man. It was a huge story for a while. People wanted to boycott fucking Chiquita and shit like that. I have a hard time keeping up with boycotts.
There's a lot of them these days, man. It's like one of my friends on Facebook. By the way, I almost didn't hear myself. Did you do something?
No.
Yeah, that was weird. I heard myself a little bit. But anyway, it's like one of my friends on Facebook. A little while ago, one of these white kids was caught because he was stealing a car, and he rams into like police officers and police cars and drove off, and of course didn't get shot.
Yeah.
Which my friend posted on Facebook, and basically he was just like, I think we gotta get shot for some non-issue or something crazy. Now, have you seen the one with the kid that got shot 16 times?
Yeah. Oh,
Did he
yeah.
have a weapon?
He had a knife. Like, it looked like a little kitchen knife,
Yeah.
have you watched the video?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the two issues is, number one, he never moved towards the officers. Now,
Yeah.
if he had charged that cop, because that was the first thing I was thinking, because whether or not it's true, okay, I think there's a pretty healthy level of bullshit in this. But in police training and a bunch of different training, I mean, I think it was even with us when we were in the military, they tell you, if a guy with a knife is 30 feet away and he charges, he can get to you in like 3/4 of a second and have you stabbed to death before you can draw your weapon. Yeah, maybe some fucking ninja who's been training with a knife for 30 years might be able to do some crazy shit like that. Does that mean if somebody's like within 5 feet of you, you shouldn't be worried? Absolutely. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Somebody 10 feet or further, if you've got a gun, you're gonna win that fight. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could hit the broadside of a fucking barn, you're gonna be able to fucking take this guy down. Okay. But whether or not that's true, I guarantee in this guy's training, he was told, if somebody has a knife, don't underestimate. If they start coming at you, don't be a hero and let them get close. Put them down. The issue is the kid never came to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He never moved towards any of the cops. He was running his own way. He was freaking trying to freaking keep going, but he never moved towards the officer. Issue number one, okay? Issue number two is that cop was firing into this guy's dead body seconds after the kid was down. You had that argument with those fucking superhero law enforcement agents about shooting somebody. Like there was that German cop who shot that guy in the leg, put him down. It's ended up not killing him and still taking him into custody. Every fucking police training is telling you just to shoot mid-mast, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? I support that. You don't want to be trying to be a fucking hero and shooting a gun out of somebody's hand or some crazy shit like that. If you're shooting fucking in mid-mast, center mast, that's what it is, center mast, 100%, okay? But you're supposed to stop firing the moment they're no longer a fucking issue. That guy was shooting. I mean, you see him seconds later dumping 16 rounds into 16. This kid.
Mind
and the kid went down the first one, maybe two, maybe another one caught him as he was falling.
That's another issue that bothers me with that whole story. Now, most cops, I don't know what gun that cop was using, but most cops are issued Glocks, right?
Yeah, I mean, it varies quite a bit across.
I know it does, but the standard magazine, I'm trying to find a magazine that's issued that is more than 10 rounds. That's another thing that really bothers me about that story, because I looked up, the first thing I did when I heard that story, I was like, 16? That's kind of an exaggeration. So I looked it up. No, standard Glocks are issued with 10 rounds. And I'm hunting around looking. There are a couple that are issued with more, but those aren't standard issue.
Yeah, that is kind of wild, but it isn't like I'd want to say.
It's not impossible. We've seen magazines that hold more. Obviously,
well, my old Springfield XDM, which is a standard gun. It's nothing fucking exotic. Held 19 rounds of 9mm, and it was just a regular gun. It didn't have like a crazy fucking magazine shooting out of the bottom, stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's still a little ridiculous shooting somebody that many times, especially when they're down the first fucking shot. And here's something else. I don't know if you've seen this about the story.
He had already been.
McDonald's had video surveillance around their building, and they were right outside where this happened. They have come out and said, fucking Chicago PD walked in there, asked to review the video. They gave them the passwords to review the videos. Chicago PD left, they went and checked, and it was deleted.
Yep.
Like 86 minutes were deleted off their fucking video feed. So they, asked them, hey, did you guys take this for evidence? You didn't need to delete it. This is for our records too. No, this has never showed up in evidence. It's gone. Now, supposedly, some Chicago PD cop came on and honestly said, they have it, and I've seen it, and it looks fucking awful. And you could kind of see it in the video that has come out, the dash cam video. But while this guy's firing, he's so terrified of this dead kid with a fucking knife, he's walking up on him, putting bullets on him.
Yep.
Again, not a good sign of you were scared for your life, So he was saying this other video makes it look even worse. I mean, just total fucking gangland execution style, So I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, it's really weird that McDonald's, it's not like they, have alluded to it. No, they came out in an official statement saying these assholes came in and deleted videos off our fucking thing. So, and right now, Chicago PD's like, I don't know what they're talking about.
I even went into the stores. As I said, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
The reason I even went into the store is because, as I said, my friend posted the video with the kid driving into a cop car, right? Which, if you recall last time when we had the issue with the other black kid that kind of nudged the cop and the cop shot into the car.
Yeah,
Well, we talked about the cop being pretty much throwing himself right in front of the car. Not pretty much, but he did make it a lot easier to be in the way of the car
yeah,
to kind of get a better shot. And in the process of going to get that better shot, he got hit, which was the issue we're bringing up. Like, guys, this is happening. So when he posted it, we literally went, how long until we have an issue with a kid who is in a lot less dangerous position, who happens to be black, that this happens to? 2 days later, this story comes out. And literally, like, I posted to him that day, like, couldn't even wait the week. Couldn't even wait the week to prove us right. I mean, it's at this point, it's very difficult not to tell somebody who is still defending, general police behavior, like, not defending general police behavior, but at least saying that we don't need some kind of major review of how police interacts with the public in general. It's really hard to take their point of view as you don't have a racist kind of or a racial bias in this.
yeah.
Especially when it's usually white people saying it. It's really, really difficult. It's like listening to a white Trump supporter. It's just,
It's and that's kind of the issue is we
I don't
see,
know what else I can give you.
it's definitely taking a risk, and I'm not gonna demand a cop risk his life for every asshole he comes across. Okay, even
Yeah.
though it kind of sounds like what you signed up for, dude. I'm pretty sure when you're at the bar flirting with chicks, you're telling them how you're risking your life for all us fucking poor citizens. But whatever, okay. My issue is you see it all the time, and you brought, and I totally thought when you first brought up this challenge of find me a freaking video of a cop like talking down a black person like you see all the time with white people. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there was one, it was an open carry rally, and this guy, and he seemed like an asshole, okay? The guy who was there like demonstrating against these open carry guys, right? Well, the cop, there's a picture of it, the cop standing next to one of these guys, and one of these open fucking carry guys gets so pissed, he grabs his fucking gun and starts walking towards this kid like he's about to shoot him.
Yep.
That is way more than what that fucking 12-year-old kid did to get shot to death with that fucking BB gun.
Yep. Yep.
And this cop was like, hey, no, no. Number one, that should be immediately taken to jail.
Yep.
This guy just threatened a guy with more than a fucking up for an assault charge. Okay? Number two, why, when it was a 12-year-old kid, was he gunned down to death in seconds, and this guy with a fucking goddamn gun, a real gun, absolutely everybody knows it's real, grabbing his weapon and charging some guy because of what some guy said, the cop just talks him down.
Yeah. I mean, I've had the same, you know, the challenge I've had. I've had the same challenge for like a year and a half now, which is that video with the drunk guy with a shotgun threatening cops.
Yeah.
And the cops, credit to those cops. Those are amazing police officers that did amazing work. Like, calmed him down, talked him down, sat him down. And I've told people, like, just find me one video. That's all I ask. One video of this exact scenario with a minority. And I'm done. I have no dog in the fight. I'm out. You guys decide what you're going to do. I'm just going to assume there's some bad officers out there, which I still assume. But as you said, it's hard to find. It's really sad to say. It's non-existent. It's not even hard to find. It's just, if it's around on the internet, I have yet to find it. And we've been, people are looking for videos all over the place, trying to throw this thing in people's faces. So I think if one of these existed by now, there would be one, white guy out there who just goes, hey, for all those minorities saying stuff like, cops are only after, black people. Here you go. Here's a video of a cop talking down a black guy with a gun. I mean, we talked about this before with the video with the white guy walking to his neighborhood with his open carry weapon and the black guy walking to his neighborhood with their open carry weapon. And at the time, you brought up the fact, well, the black guy definitely was working and walking around in the ghetto, whereas the white guy was walking around the suburbs. But in my mind, it was still like, that shouldn't matter if they're in an open carry state, right?
Yeah,
right? If we're going to be honest about it, that's what the point is. It shouldn't matter. You're in an open carry state, whether I'm in the hood or the freaking regular. As long as I'm open carrying and I got my permit, I should be fine. But the approach those cops had was completely different.
I would like to see it done where both, and maybe do a 6 month difference so the cops don't, realize that there's a thing going on.
Yep.
Same exact areas, same exact weapons, same exact carry stance, the whole thing. Only difference is white and black. It really, because for all you know, maybe this guy knew that there was an asshole cop that patrolled this area
Yeah.
and was going to do something. Like
Uh-huh.
I want to see, that's one of the big things of troubleshooting gear. Take out whatever is different, and okay, this is the broken piece. Okay, what's the only thing that's different between these two items? Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I want, just 100%. But you're right. I mean, if it's an open carry state, the cops should have reacted for the most part the same way. Now, of course, you're going to get some cops that are more courteous than others.
Of
Okay,
course.
there'll be some cops who, like, there was one open carry thing, and mind you, I can't stand open carry activists. These guys are fucking pieces of shit. Okay, not only are they a bunch of fat fucking completely out of shape idiots who I'm sure right now are on fucking Facebook going, I'll fucking tear up ISIS. They come here. Go fucking join and do it then, dude. I'm tired of fucking, like, there's a fun. Have you seen this shit about Linda?
No.
Let me show you.
Oh dear. Are we
But
talking about my Linda?
no, no, no.
I was about to say.
This reminds me of all these fucking, especially these open carry guys. Okay, is fucking Linda. Oh my god, I just looked this up through freaking Bing. You goddamn idiot. Hold on.
This would be great. At least you're getting Microsoft points.
Linda, Jesus. I mean, how sad is it that was immediately that useless? Here, perfect. Look it up on fucking Google. Bam, it's right fucking here. Okay. Uh, Here is what Linda posted, and the perfect thing is it comes with a nice little picture of her. Okay. Tell me if you can see that.
Nothing yet. Hold on.
It's weird. It's black on my screen too.
Yeah, it says you're sharing something, but it's all black on the screen.
Yeah, I wonder what the fuck's going on.
See, Google just did all these upgrades a second ago, so
I'm trying to like this Windows 10, but it's getting difficult. I mean, like it's good on its own, but you try and connect it with anything and it falls apart on you. Here we go. Try this one. Look at that. It works perfectly. Thank you, Chrome.
yeah.
So this has been a fucking meme now because this fat white woman, I'm sure she's a wonderful lady, posted this thing how she's gonna go destroy ISIS. Okay, which is hilarious because lady, what exactly are you gonna do to destroy us? Like, I don't know if you're on that. We had a talk with one of our friends, one of our ex-Marines too, and had some other guy was talking about, like, being vigilant is, I'm being vigilant and making sure nothing happens. I'm like, dude, what are you actually doing? So look at this shit. Like, number one, these memes have been going so far. Fine, I'll continue my hunt for ISIS. Right? You're just, but this has been going so far that the ISIS Twitter,
I like the Iron Man.
the ISIS Twitter feed actually responded, "We will destroy Linda."
Oh my god.
So
She's the best viral marketing they could ever have. Oh.
there you go. I have an army. We have a Linda. But this is what I see whenever I see these open carry guys. Here are guys that want to pretend like they're a bunch of brave fucking hard asses. All you guys are doing is harassing fucking people going to a goddamn mill.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Whenever you see them, it's never people that look like they could defend themselves without that gun.
Fuck
It's
no.
always just someone who's really overweight or someone who's really skinny. You know what they look like? They look like those jocks that work at car dealerships that just keep recounting their football days.
Oh yeah. What do you do for? Oh yeah, man, I played football in high school.
Like you're 40 years old. Is high school still your dominant sales pitch here? But it's just they just feel like they're overcompensating so hard all the time. And again, this isn't everybody. I'm sure there's a couple of open carry guys out there that are just nice, but the majority of what the public sees are just douchebags.
Yeah, well, I think that's because that's all you can find. Like, I mean, these guys are trying to be bullies, except they didn't want to fucking put in the work to actually get strong, so they have to go do this shit to be bullies. But and I'm trying to find a picture right now, which is a perfect example, which is in Irvine, Texas. I want to say it was a couple miles. I don't even think it was after this Paris attack, but some people protested the mosque that was there, okay, because they didn't want there to be a mosque. Now, it's crazy to me because here are people who are blatantly, it's keep the government out of religion, not religion out of the government, blah blah blah. Totally 100% pro-religion until it's somebody else's shit.
Yeah, it always is.
But the picture, and I can't believe I can't find. I saw it like 20 fucking times today, and now it's gone. But the picture is this lady walking into her mosque. Behind her is this guy with a fucking assault rifle, wearing a mask, walking behind, following her ass to the mosque. Imagine that shit happened
At a Christian church,
at a Christian fucking church, man.
that person would have been gunned down so quickly. But it's a mosque, so they're okay with being terrorized. Like we were just having a conversation with a couple of former Marines buddies of ours, talking about potentially sequestering Muslims
Oh yeah.
just
Yeah.
for a short amount of time, just until we know who the enemy is. And I quickly had to go, you mean like we did to the Jap? I mean, you saw the whole thread, like we did to the Japanese, and then post the song with Mike Shinoda talking about his parents' experience in internment camps. Like, yeah, you see how that worked out before? Didn't work out so good.
Yeah, it's crazy because you see it a lot, especially, and I'm not going to say I'm that big of a history buff, but I do follow it. I do enjoy reading history and freaking shit like that, especially real history. Especially in the U.S., you get a whole lot of bullshit history. Like our entire history of freaking colonial days, so much bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. But you see right now, especially with all this shit going on, us not recreating history, reliving history again, and we learn nothing from our fuck ups in the past. Okay, like that whole Japanese internment, it's been an embarrassment to our country for decades. Okay,
And people were saying it like it was a prideful thing.
yeah, it's been a total fucking embarrassment, something that the country's been ashamed of. And here people are, something happens again, people want to bring it right back. Okay? Another one is refugees. During World War II, okay, one of the most serious war in the world's existence, we got fucking challenged to bring in German refugees, get them out of fucking Nazi Germany, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do it for a little while, and then we picked up, we started doing it, we brought a bunch of people over. We realized after the fact that us waiting on it for the little while we did, I mean, just pretty much put all kinds of people to death.
Now, I will tell you a weird little asterisk on that. Just a side note. Just so you know, one of those refugees that happened to come here during that time frame ended up being a descendant to the now presidential candidate Donald Trump. Well, an ancestor.
Ancestor, yeah.
In fact, as it turns out, Trump is not Donald Trump's actual name. Their family's name is actual Crumps. It was changed right around immediately after World War II because, wow, America seemed to have an issue with Germans and German names.
Yeah.
So they slowed that down and they stopped speaking German around that house.
And now he wants these refugees done. And here's something I think people misunderstand is nobody's arguing that, yeah, that does leave a fucking weakness open. There is a potential for fuckery by allowing these refugees in here, okay? The issue is we still have to fucking do it.
Well,
You know, these
that's
are
not
freaking tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands. And here's the two things, okay? Number one, it's the right thing to fucking do. We pride ourselves on Americans on protecting the little guy, whether or not our actual foreign policy fucking mirrors that. This is the myth of fucking the U.S. We will fucking go out there and protect the little guy. This is 100% the time to fucking do it, okay?
Mhm.
Number two, if you leave those people there and they are, just bashed over the head with this shit, it's gonna, number one, it leaves taxpayers for ISIS. Right now, ISIS hates these refugees more than we do because those are taxpayers who are leaving their fucking areas that they will no longer make money on. Their infrastructure is getting weakened by these refugees leaving. They're begging for fucking doctors, nurses, fucking all this shit, people to run the fucking power grid. All these people are leaving, and countries that are braver than the US are taking them in, and it's
Mhm.
severely weakening ISIS. Instead of them being able to terrorize these people and use them and use their fucking skills, they're gone. So taking in these refugees is battling ISIS. Okay. Now, because these ISIS hates these refugees so much and hates us, okay, obviously that leaves the fucking slot open for them to do something with that. Okay, they might sneak in with these refugees. Okay,
Ac-
we understand that that might happen. The fucking juice is still worse than squeeze. You know?
Now, here's the funny part to that. I did a little bit of research recently, and actually, that might even be inaccurate. Because to be quite honest, the hardest way to become an American citizen or to get into the United States is as a refugee. We are the only country with the most stringent refugee like acquisition process out there. France doesn't have a process that's even a quarter as stringent as we are. To be a refugee in America, you have to go through this whole review, which about 20% make it out of the review. And then once you do that, you start your barrage of over 2 years worth of background research, interviews, movements, and all that kind of thing that no other country does, mind you. We are the only ones who do it. So much so that it's actually easier to come into the country by applying legally for a visa than it would be to come in as a refugee.
Yeah.
So is there a chance? Yes. But there's actually a greater chance that if we had a terrorist attack, they would not be coming in as a refugee.
Yeah, wouldn't be the easiest way. I think
In fact, they did the
because they're
math on
trying
it.
to attack these refugees, I
Yep.
think that it'll leave open a slot for them to fucking do it. You know?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's nowhere, and people are still imagining that we do absolutely nothing. We just let them all in. No, I mean, really, our rules already are so stringent that a lot of people are just going to get denied. The vast majority of them. Not just because they can't hit the policies, they can't prove that they can because they
Yep.
left all their shit and walked out
Yep.
on foot.
Yep.
I'm sure they brought as much identification as they had, but they're not having everything, and everything behind them just got destroyed. That's a lot of identification just gone. You
One of
know?
the one of the greatest week from the TV show on HBO night last week tonight. One of the greatest jokes I heard was they did the actual statistical math. The actual math. I don't know why I said statistical math. They did the actual math and discovered that because Mike Huckabee said something along the lines of like, if you had a 5 pound bag of peanuts and you found out 3 of those peanuts were poisonous, would you feed them to your children? That was his analogy. So they did the math, and first off, the ratio is completely different because it's like 1 out of 200 refugees have actually been proven to have any connection to terrorism ever. But second of all, more importantly, that's still a high number. But
Yep.
the funny part they made is by that ratio, you are more in danger to be killed by a person named Mike than you are to be killed by a refugee. Because they did the math and realized they were like, we're not herding Mikes around, even though there are more killers that are in jail right now named Mike than there are statistically potentials for refugees to be terrorists. And you don't see us rounding up all the Mikes on planet Earth to put them in internment camps just to be safe. Because there is a certain amount of risk that we allow ourselves to have. But the risk that is being associated with these refugees is actually completely false compared to what is being shown.
Well, that ties into illegal immigrants from Mexico.
Yep.
People try, like Trump, try and pretend that these are just a rash of fucking criminals coming over here to cause problems. If you look at the stats, you are way. If you were in a group of fucking illegals or a group of Americans, you're way more likely to be victimized by the Americans than the illegals. The illegals follow the law way better than the rest of us do, probably because they're trying not to get thrown out the country. They are way less likely to kill you. They're way less violent. All the fucking stats are way lower than your average American.
True.
So that whole complaint is ridiculous. You have people coming back, well, any crime committed by them is bad. Well, I don't think we will see any change. And it might even raise if freaking illegals disappear from the country. Fucking, what's the name? Trump throws them all out. We're probably not going to have any change in crime. It's just not fucking feasible. If there
Yeah.
was a serious problem with them coming over here and committing crimes like everyone's trying to pretend, you know what? Then I think we got a valid argument. But that's my issue is with these refugees, with these freaking illegal immigrants, is I get fucking bold-faced lies all the fucking time. Bold-faced fucking lie. And somebody had to make it. I understand most people who I'm talking to just got it from somebody they trusted who maybe you should stop trusting them. That's a big irritation for me is when somebody lies to you, somebody tells you, hey, no, that's wrong. Here's the proof they were lied to. They run right back to the person who lied to them to get more information.
Yep.
Like, how do you not look at this and go, maybe this is a bad source and I should quit fucking, going to these people?
Because it's what their parents watched, and it would be admitting that their parents are flawed. That's what I've learned.
Well, and I think that this is going to change in another generation or so because I talked to a lot of people who were, I mean, shit, I was almost a teenager when the internet started becoming, when fucking dial-up started showing up. People kind of forget that this internet thing way fucking new.
Yes,
My
super
kids
young.
have no idea what life was like before the fucking internet. Okay, and it doesn't even take you being that old. Cold Conscience, I doubt, has really any idea of fucking how life was before the internet, before cell phones were in everybody's pocket.
He has a very minor memory, and the only reason he has any of it is probably because he came to my house.
because my
Got
thing
to see
is
that old dial-up at work.
my thing when I was a kid, when I was trying to go out with a girl, you had to call her house and pray to God her dad didn't pick up. Okay, if you got her mom on the phone, moms were usually cool. Okay, you got dad on the phone, you were fucked. Okay, so now here you are having to negotiate with one of these parents to talk to their daughter. Then she gets on the phone, and I mean, what do you? I mean, you are nothing but prim and proper because you don't know if somebody else picked up a fucking handset and is listening in. Mike has no idea how that shit happened. Now when you want to talk to a girl, you can call her private number to a thing in her pocket. Fucking crazy to me, man. So I think people are forgetting about that shit, and I think that generation who got into their 30s and 40s before the internet, think about if you wanted to okay, illegal immigrants are violent, they're a bunch of criminals, this and that. The only way you would be able to get this information is if somebody you trusted told you.
True.
Your priest, your parents, fucking Uncle fucking Roger who comes over for Thanksgiving. These people are the only ones you can get your information from. You had no way to fact check that shit. It just didn't exist.
But
So
nowadays, you can just Google anything.
yeah, you had to believe just who was the most sincere source I can get, and you had to believe that shit. Which is why I think a lot of these baby boomers are fucking furious right now, because a lot of beliefs they've had for decades are coming out as completely fake. They don't want to let it go. Like it's ridiculous. So I think that's causing a big schism between the new generation and the slightly older one, because of that, somebody tells me something, you know what? I can go online and check myself. You know, let's see if this shit's true or not before I fucking tie this to myself. And it's a crazy new fucking experience that our previous generations didn't have. So here you are, you've believed something for 30 fucking years, okay? And you go to pass on your information to the younger fucking crowd, and they come back with, no, man, I looked it up on Wikipedia. You're completely wrong. How are you going to take that, dude? I know what these people don't do, and that's go, okay, I guess I was wrong. That shit has never happened in the history of life.
Yeah, not
Like,
ever,
I
unfortunately.
talked to one guy. I mean, he's in his 50s. You know that's not all that old. And hey, you realize that this is that you're saying right now is wrong. You're lying to your kids because I'm on Facebook with his kids. No, you don't understand. Back in the day, I fucking don't. No, back in the day, someone told you this shit and you believed it. Now, when the truth's here, you don't want to fucking update. You know, you built all your political, your religious, your how you fucking view the world. You built all that shit already, and it was on a fucking sham. You know, like I'll give you an example: the Boston Tea Party. Why did that shit happen?
Fucking, let's see, digging here. Well, obviously, the rumor, well, the common knowledge is it happened because, we were rebelling against British imperialism, and the way we thought to hurt them was through their tea. But that's not the actual real reason. I forgot what the actual real reason was.
Taxation without representation, right? They were
Mm,
taxing the shit out of our colony in order to fucking revolt against them. Boston fucking threw that tea that was going to be taxed all the fuck into
that's
the
the myth.
Okay? That's the myth. What really happened is Britain made a deal with the East Indian Trading Company so that they can get tea over there and sell it to the colonists cheaper than any other tea in the market, including
Ah,
the taxes.
I remember that.
Including the taxes, it was better quality and cheaper than what the colonists were already getting. There's an issue with that. If this is cheaper and better, what is going to happen to those companies that were already selling?
Wah, wah, wah.
A beautiful thing about the East Coast that has kind of gone now because we don't use it as much is unlike a lot of coast, there is all kinds of place to fucking park a ship out there. There's all kinds of bays, inlets, shit like that. That normally, you have to find certain spots to go to. Like in the UK, you don't just find a fucking bay or an inlet every fucking 20 miles. You gotta fucking really look for it. And there's only certain cities. That's where there's some huge fucking city here because there was a bay and ships could stop. This fucking city grew around the bay, right?
Yeah.
The colonists, including one guy, he's got a really, you probably wouldn't know him, John Hancock. He facilitated smuggling in tea on all these other bays to skip the fucking taxes. He was one of the people selling that cheap, lower quality, or that expensive, lower quality tea. Here comes the East India Trading Company to fucking put him out of business. And guess who needs to rally a fucking crew to go dump that fucking tea out? These colonists fought against getting better tea for cheaper.
Jesus.
This guy did it because he was a smuggler about to get fucked over. He was
Yeah.
about to lose his job because here's the East India Trading Company coming right up to a fucking port, paying their shit, and still outselling them. That's why he rallied the fucking crew to go dump this shit. Not because of taxation without representation.
Yeah, but history goes to the winners, so
Yeah, Apple's selling a $900 iPad. If somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, you're going to be taxed quite a bit, but I'll sell it to you for 500, including the taxes," which way are you going to go? Do you give a shit about the taxes?
oh fuck no.
No, I care about the total price. That's what all the colonists would have cared about too. That would have put this guy out of business. And he wasn't the only one. There was a couple other founding fathers in that fucking business. Shut him down, okay? The fucking French Indian Revolution, all that shit. The French were treating the Indians like human beings. Crazy. The fucking Indians supported the French. Guess who they didn't support? The asshole colonists being racist fucking pigs and attacking them and killing them. That's how the whole fucking French Indian War that Britain had to come fight for us because we were losing.
Yep.
Britain came, fought that war for us, defended us, then said, "You guys owe us money for this fucking war. We're going to raise up your taxes." We didn't give a shit. You guys started this fight and lost. We had to come beat them for our fucking colony. You need to pay us for this fucking thing we did, and we threw a whole fit. Taxation without representation. What did we get out of this? You got defended by the
Yep.
fucking biggest military in the world at the time.
Yeah. It's just like, it's always funny for me when I hear people diss France. Like, it's not happening now that all of a sudden they've had a tragedy. People want to act like they care. But it
Yeah.
wasn't that long ago. Like, every other person was making fun of French people, which always cracked me up because I was always like, you understand you pretty much owe these people you're mocking your entire way of life.
And it's not even that.
Had they not backed you up against the
It's not even just that, but France has the best fucking military record of practically any country.
yeah.
People talk about, oh, France during World War II. France got the living shit stopped out of them in World War II because they were the main target, World War
Yep.
I and World War II. Okay? They took more heat than anybody. They were losing tens of thousands of people a day.
Yep.
And we're going to talk shit about how well they did during that war? They took on the biggest, baddest military ever to exist at that time. And were doing their best to hold their own,
Weren't Germans the ones that introduced tanks to battles and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, they definitely had the baddest fucking tanks.
Yeah, they were murderers.
And it wasn't even just tanks; it was fucking artillery.
Everything.
So, like, the artillery before the First World War was like 12-millimeter cannons that people were using during Napoleon's day, right?
And
When Germans came out and first attacked Belgium, they were going through Belgium to get to France. Belgium had these beautiful fortified fortresses, right?
mm-hmm.
They showed up with these. I mean, they showed up, used an army to defend it, sent engineers out that cleared the land and made a cement fucking pad. Imagine these Belgians watching this. Like, what the fuck are these guys building over here? And then built these huge, I want to say 110 millimeter, 120 millimeter cannons
Yep.
that just blew these fucking fortresses that nobody could touch away like they were nothing.
I mean, there's a great podcast that I'm sure you've heard before, Hardcore History, with I want to say Dan Carlin, but he has this great story about like autobiographies from people who fought in World War II against the Germans when they first experienced like gas artilleries, artilleries that would drop like mustard gas, and these armies had never experienced this in their history. Just imagine these guys are still fighting around with swords and cannons and stuff like that.
On horseback.
Yeah, on horseback, coming into a battle, just getting decimated by people with amazing artillery.
Germans at that time, especially World War I, were like when you play fucking like Civilization and you just hole up and advance to the space age and go out there and these fuckers are still like spearmen and shit. That's what they were like at the time, They just fucking decimated everybody. So talking shit about France for that, losing that fight, they were trying their best to survive. Like our battalion has that beautiful story about here's the French running away and Chesterfield, I think, was it? No. Maybe it was Chesterfield. Maybe I'll get this wrong. But anyways, we come up and say, retreat hell, we just got here. That's 2-5's old motto, right? Retreat hell. Yeah, but these guys are running because their entire country is getting decimated. It's a whole different war when you're fighting it not on your own ground. Okay? You can't bear these two as equivalents, Yeah, you're putting soldiers at risk. That's their job, to be at risk. When your wife and kids are on the line, when your house is about to get fucking bombed, shit like that, you might rethink your fucking stance, Yeah,
that whole shit's about to change. But I think we went way off topic with this one. I don't know how we started this with like the abilities of certain cultures and sexes and ended with Germany and World War II.
I don't know. It's like spicy food took us here.
Actually, that's what led us there. Anyway, we need to start wrapping this up. You got any parting shots?
I had one and I forgot it.
Yeah, same here. I'm trying to remember mine. I was hoping you be giving a nice little long monologue so I can remember mine.
Oh, yeah, I do know that Cold Conscience and Mr. Slow Chemical are out trying to get Cold Conscience laid with a white woman, okay? What I would like to tell you white women is fucking minorities is pretty much the whole point of Thanksgiving, okay? Yeah, it's all the way back to the very first one. So do your part, ladies. Okay, continue the tradition. We'll see what happens from there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what mine was, so I'm just gonna end it with like, "Have a happy Thanksgiving, guys."
Yeah. We'll put this
All
in.
right, y'all catch y'all later.